Come on. Been a little while. Have to get the rhythm back. Anyway, hello, YouTube. This is the Gentleman Scholar. Well, this one's going to give me trouble. I can just tell. Don't know if I packed it wrong or what. But anyway, it's been a month since I posted. So that means I kind of have to relearn this all over again. That's okay. I kept meaning to post, but every time I'd come down here, I'd overthink it and like, oh, I don't want to do it now. It seems like work, blah 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 blah. So right now, my husband's asleep on the couch. The cat is sleeping in the chair. So I decided to come on down and say hello to you fine folks. And I'm only doing this live because I don't know if I have any room in the phone to hold this entire recording. So this might be a long one because I just want to say hello and also fulfill my obligation to Holy Smoke and Pipe Padre. He tagged me with 218 tennis questions. Let's get this stem straight if I can do that. And keep it in my mouth. I had to rewatch the entire video again to make sure I got these questions. They're kind of random, so I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability. Okay. What do the following items cost? Half gallon milk? Don't really know. I do know that a gallon costs about, I want to say 269 because I buy them by the gallon because I drink a lot of milk. 50 grams of tobacco, I have no idea. What is going on here? I think I either packed this too heavily or too lightly. Hold on. Whenever I have this problem, I do this. Put a little hole in it. There's a little bit of draw. One of you fine folks taught me that. I think it might have been the Padre himself. Let's see if I can just do this without knocking over the camera. The camera is held up by this weird spider spindly thing. Matches, hello. I should follow you more. Could learn a lot from you. You're like a semi-legend. No, you are an actual legend. In the YTPC. Your name is highly regarded all throughout. And this is just not going to work, is it? So, 50 grams of tobacco, I don't know how much that costs. Cigars, again, no idea. I'm not a big cigar fan. Although I'd like to try one day. Pizza? I tend to buy mine out of the store, so I wouldn't know. um, okay, so I'm going to answer these questions to the best of my ability, so please bear with me. Name the one person you could talk to for the rest of your life. Well, I have to say my husband because even though, man, I really botched this up. Ugh, let me stir this up. Um, Even though we're not into all the same things, we do sort of share the same neuroses, if that makes any sense. Our minds work the same way. Oh, housekeeping, by the way, I'm smoking a Cornland Deal's Autumn Evening, if I can ever get the damn thing lit. It's like smoking maple syrup, someone once described, and it's true. And I like that. I think I packed it too. I think I actually packed it too heavily. I'm not sure. I was kind of hoping this could actually go well with a hit. Some pipe smokes are better than others, but you know how it is. Some days you just have those lights that just don't work all that well. And obviously this is one of them. So I don't know if I packed it too light or too tightly. I don't know. I'm suspecting it's too light. So C&D Matches is smoking Cornell Deal Big and Burly in a 7L 673. Sounds fancy. Hold on. This does not want to work. All right. It would be my husband because hey Mike, number three. No, but regarding number two, the person I could talk to for the rest of my life, my husband, because we kind of have the same neuroses. Our minds kind of work the same way. So that's what I'm going with. My greatest hope for 2019? Greatest hope? I don't know. Maybe a little more socio political civility. I'm guessing. Although I'm not sure how that's going to happen. Have to ride that one out. Okay, what time do I eat dinner? I don't know. Usually about 5. Try not to eat after, and try not to eat till after. I try not to eat after 6 p.m. because the food just sits there. So around 5 o'clock or so. Let's see. What's the one thing I wish I could do better? I just wish I could actually sit down and write. Sit down and write fiction or write something on a regular, productive basis. Who's coming up here? Evening all. Chris Barkman, the ASL Piper. Yeah, you and I are in the same boat. It doesn't even matter which side you're on anymore. Everyone just take a deep breath and calm down. Okay, what's the one thing I wish I could do better? Write regularly, write consistently. Even if I write like crap, it would be nice to like actually create a story I actually care about. Um, I did a short story for December, and I can't really say I'm happy with it completely, but at least I finished it. I started it and I finished it, and for that I'm grateful. Now, how to turn that into a habit? Sucks. I really botched loading this today. Um, but I started, I finished it. When you write, it's like walking like a tightrope. You don't want to suck, but you just keep on going, hoping that something good will come out of it. And that's what writing is like. It's really kind of frightening, and the whole time you're doubting yourself. And I usually I usually set my timer on the cell phone here, on the smartphone, for an hour. So I write straight for an hour. I don't look at the clock. I don't look at anything. I try not to, because sometimes when you suck, you're like, "Is this almost over? Is this almost over? I don't want to do this anymore." Um, so yeah, that's the one thing I wish I could do. What do I worry about today? What don't I worry about today? I don't know. Whether or not I'm going to be eating dog food when I retire, death, taxes, the whole thing, the body disintegrating as I get older, which is happening. And the thing is, I know there's no such thing as mortality, but it sucks not being able to walk with a spring in my step the way I used to. Ah, life on other planets. Do I believe in it? Yeah, I do actually believe in it, but I don't see why the hell they want to come down here. Because I mean, if I were an alien watching the stuff that goes down here, I'd stay the hell away. But in conversely, when I was younger, I love science fiction. I love science fiction movies and space travel and everything like that. But whenever I see stuff on about NASA and how everyone's all excited with the next rocket launching, I just shrug because once we get up there, we're just going to take all of our crap with us, all of our prejudices, all of our pettiness, all of our tribalism, And so I just can't really get excited about, the latest foray into space. So when Richard Branson announces, or Elon Musk or whoever announces that they're going to be starting flights, tourist flights, around the Earth, suborbital, whatever, I just shrug because I don't know. It's a change of scenery, yes, but unfortunately, we're just going to export all of our crap up there. It's gonna be like Star Trek. It's sort of like Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek. When the show first started, humans all got along. Everything was great, almost to the point where it was being boring. It's like you'd think humans being cramped up in a ship like that would get bitchy at each other, but they don't. They all work together, and which is great. That's good. It's a nice dream, but it's unrealistic. But then as the shows go on, we're talking all the shows. Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, maybe not so much Voyager. Um, yeah, Chris, that's a good motivator, but yeah, at least it widens the playing field. At least we have someplace to go in case that happens. Um, but yeah, as you're watching Star Trek as we go along, it goes from super peaceful, near utopian to eventually we start butting heads with the Klingons. We start butting our heads with the Romulans, the Dominion, the whole thing. Next thing you know, Star Trek gradually became Star Wars. And I mean, I remember an episode in Deep Space Nine where Dax, the one who's like a symbiote, she's they were scouting some planet to help them against their Dominion war. They come across this temporal rip and this rip in space and time. She goes, "Well, can we stop and kind of explore? Because that's what we're out here to do, right? Explore." And I noticed that notion kept creeping up the longer you watch Star Trek. It goes, remember when we just used to explore? Picard used to say that. So, okay. Supersonic car or plane, which would I like to be in? Neither. I'm a boring person that way. I work on an airplane, so it's kind of like there's no glamour there. All right, this next one's kind of interesting. Okay, would I delete half of my memory for $100 million? Now, this is not selective memory. It would just be random. It would spin the wheel and you'd lose half your memory for $100 million. I say no because money doesn't mean that much to me. Yeah, it matters when you don't have it, but I wouldn't trade in something like that for $100 million. I mean, that's chump change compared to your memories. And number 10, in the last year, what was my best day? Hmm, my best day. Well, it's probably, I'll go back to number 7. I'm sorry, number 5. What's the one thing I wish I could do better? When I completed that short story, I looked at it convinced myself that it's mostly crap. It's basically a guy in a Santa suit working for the Salvation Army who basically goes up against a vampire on Christmas Eve and ends up in an emergency room. I based it on Catholic Medical Center, which is like right across the river. In the store he was at, was it, I want to say, Rite Aid Drugs. It's Brooks Drugs. It's right across the street from it. So that's how I centered the action in my head. And I have to say, I mean, some of the stuff you don't plan on in a story, certain characters just pop up and okay, well, let's just give her the spotlight, even though I didn't know she's going to be part of the story. But yeah, I mean, I was glad when I finished that story because that came out of my head. Now, Gary, how about actually, yeah, I don't think I packed this right. How about actually doing that as a regular course? But I'm a lazy person. That's why you only see like one pipe video for me every month or so. Yeah, I really botched the packy on this. And I'd like to do a shout out to 3 people: Professor Jeremiah, 2 a.m. pipe on the patio, and the Holy Smoking Pipe Padre. They were kind of concerned about my silence, and they kind of gently prodded me to do another video. And I'm like, wow, it's nice to be missed. I mean, because what am I bringing to the table here? Compared to some other people I see, not a whole hell of a lot. I mean, I don't think it's special anyway. I'm in a garage trying to smoke a pipe today. It's not working. But I've had some, I can't like let this define me. I've had some successful sessions before. But it really is a joy to like check in with you folks. I consider like especially the people I regularly check in with and correspond with. It's always a pleasure to see your videos and talk with you and hang. Hell, I'm on a written correspondence with some of you folks. Northeast Piper UK, Cobbett of the Shire, Holy Smoking Pipe Padre. Um, Christmas cards have been sent. Letters have been sent. So the pipe smoking is just the beginning of it. Find out that Mark, Northeaster Piper UK, is into comics, as I'm as well, and into the same movies. So yeah, that's where friendships start. And it's always just a pleasure just to check in and see who's doing what and who's smoking what and what everyone's up to. And to be honest, I just wish I could, just post with regularity because I still consider myself kind of a dilettante newbie when it comes to this sort of thing. And I know I'm psyching myself out and overthinking it, but I still think of myself as an acolyte. I'm still just entering this field, and sometimes, brothers of Brian Spring, that's what it's all about. If no one else to pipe it, yeah, same here. I wish I had someone in my area. I'm up in New Hampshire, by the way, so it would be nice to sit down and actually smoke a pipe with somebody. We could actually give you incentive to get better with the smoking and the practice and the ritual of it. But I've actually had the honor of having a smoke with Holy Smoking Pipe Padre once upon a time. One with, actually, no, I had a cigar with, oh God, I know his real name. I forgot his handle. Oh my God. Northern Bohemian. Actually, he's my first official video of his was in Madison, Wisconsin. And yeah, it took me to a cigar bar and we just kind of shot the breeze about everything. Um, Other than that, I have to ask Stephen though. Stephen Green, Beard. If I ever do a flight to London, I would like to visit you and sit down, have a beer and a pipe with you if that's at all possible. It would take me a lot to do international because international is a lot of work and kind of lazy shit. So I will, however, be doing trips to Edinburgh this May, and because the Scottish are so wonderful to look after. I mean, they just thank you, please, and thank you for everything. And it's like serving a bunch of hobbits, and I love them to death. I mean, at least the Glasgow flights, they drank you out of every single thing that you had mostly. If you ran out of whiskey, scotch, they would start drinking the vodka. If you ran out of that, they'd drink the Drambuie. I doubt we're going to stock Drambuie because it's kind of costly. We might start it first, the inaugural, but yeah, I remember we pulled it out. We had like an entire rack of Drambuie there. That went. But oh, such grateful, kind, warm-hearted people. I look forward to going back there. The only minor drawback of that is the flight's gonna leave at 11 o'clock at night, so which means I better get some power sleeping in before I go. And we end up there in the middle of the day. So if I'm gonna go out and visit, I know some folks in Aberdeen. I know some folks in Dundee. I know some folks in up near St. Andrews. Um, it's sort of like on the coast of Fife, the East Nuke of Fife, as they call it. And but to get there, you have to stop at Leuchars, which is the St. Andrews stop, and you have to somehow get up to Anstruther, Cellar Dyke. Also, Ironbriar, he's been missing. Duncan, he's been missing. I'm assuming that he's been training for. He works for ScotRail. He was a conductor at ScotRail, but I think he mentioned that he was going to become um, a train. No wait, train conductor. No, train conductor is the driver. He used to take tickets and just sort of like keep an eye on the cabin before, if I'm getting that correctly. Now he's actually driving the trains, and since we haven't heard from him for a while, I'm assuming that he's learning how to do that. I'm sure there's a whole lot of safety training going on with that stuff. So, but hope he does a video soon. Be lovely to hear from him. He's the only Scotsman I know in the YTPC. I don't know the whole length and breadth of the YTPC, but he's the only Scotsman that I know of who posts with any regularity. But well, I'm already going on 20 minutes here, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to light this up properly. But all of you folks who tuned in, I'm glad you did. Um, I'm going to try to post another one in the not too distant future. I know I say that every time, but it's just something I just have to, when I start working myself up to it, then all of a sudden it becomes work. And then when it becomes work, then I start procrastinating. So it's just not a healthy mindset. I have to think of this as enjoyment, as just hanging with my group of cyber pipe smoking friends. If I think of it like that, maybe see me more often. Ooh, won't your lives be enriched? But anyway, all the best to you folks. I will talk to you later. And oh yes, I guess I'm supposed to tag somebody with this tennis questions. 2008 tennis questions. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year's to everyone. I'm gonna tag Northeast Piper UK with this. He drops about 10 videos a day, so he should have no problems with this. Um, Take care, Mike. I always love your videos. Safe. Have a good evening, folks. Take care, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon. All the best. Oh, how do I get out of here?